Higher education.
Yes.
Candidate of law.
Yes.
What are your first education specialties?
Well, a lawyer.
Well, maybe in criminal cases, in administrative ones.
There is no such division there. It is a general legal
In short,
education.
law.
Yes.
Law. Tell me more. Family, children.
Wife, 3 minor children.
How many years is a minor?
Turns out that the eldest son is 10 years old, the youngest is 8, and the daughter is now 2 years old.
Yeah. So one is a minor and the others are just kids.
Well, yes.
That's how it's
I get it.
considered in legal terms. Is that correct? Or is it different in the Russian Federation?
Up to 10 years old, in my opinion.
Perhaps. Do you voluntarily consent to the recording and publication of this conversation?
Yes.
Your wife is on maternity leave. What does she do for a living?
She didn't work.
What education does she have?
Secondary.
Secondary. Mother, father,
Mother, father, they
Yeah,
are
everyone.
pensioners, yes.
right? Why is your father pensioner?
Well, work according to ability to work.
Well, it means a regular work one.
Regular work.
Who knows, maybe there's some general
No,
there.
no.
I've seen all sorts of things. You say you wrote to me.
Yes.
When was this? Why did you write to me and what was it? Let's start with this. You seem like a promising candidate of legal sciences, and I also have a legal education. In corruption.
That's probably exactly why I wrote to you. It's a direct correlation. It was probably around August. I don't remember the exact date. It was from August 22, plus or minus, until probably the end of January 23.
I remember there was something like that. Some lawyer wrote it. Were you a lawyer?
Yes. And I wrote in the comments from my YouTube channel asking to get in touch because I saw that the channel was large with a lot of subscribers and wanted to draw attention to my problem, specifically corruption. That's it.
What was your problem there? I understand that's why you went to jail.
Yeah, the problem was...
Were you a lawyer? Let me interrupt. What field? What specialty?
I had an economic case at the bulk of which 90% are civil, that is everything that in Russian is connected with money, that is division, collection,
Got it. Civil code.
civil code, yes. And if some criminal cases arose from the civil cases and then I got involved in them. That is the main task of the criminal court in this case was precisely the consideration of civil cases.
So a civil claim within the framework of a criminal case?
Yes, so the part of a criminal case.
Yes, I'm familiar with these interpretations.
Yes, and it turns out that in one of the cases we parted ways with the client, and the president of the law firm Svinsova Chambers deprives me of my status as a lawyer, which was illegal in 2020.
So, what year was it? What did the matter, and what, in a nutshell, is the essence of this
The
matter?
gist of this
Did
matter
I turn
is...
on the camera? I'm that kind of guy. Reliable.
Yes, in 2020 it was a business case heard in arbitration court with a client, so 3 cases in total, and the client wasn't Russian.
How amazing.
Yeah, this client was not Russian, Kurt. And after all the businesses...
Let me guess. He married ours and got a residence permit. Or even a passport. No, probably a residence permit. Then she tried to extort money from him, but something went wrong.
No, it was a major developer.
Wrong guess.
He was a major property developer in our city, and after many years came to bring him to both criminal and civil cases and collect money from him. And here we go, one by one I participated in such cases with him. When the case was over, he came to me
Did you
and drove
represent
up
his
and said...
interests? Were you his defender?
Yes, I was a defender. Whenever the case was finished, everything was done, as I said, he came up to me and said, return all the money for the case. I say, why? He says, you take too much.
How much did you take from him?
In one case, I think it was 150,000, and in the second case, he already owed me 200,000. To avoid paying the money, he comes up to me and says, "You give me back the 150, but I won't pay you the 200."
That's not much in theory if there were large sums involved. What sums were involved?
No, they collect large sums from him. It's like a developer. They tried to get him to pay 100 million, probably, or 80. So, and when the case were completed, he said, "Return it." I say, "I won't return it. I done all the work you owe me." He appealed to the president of our chamber. She called me and said, "Either return the money or there will be problems." I refused, and she revoked my status in 2020.
Yeah. Take away a lawyer's
A
license.
lawyer's license, yes. I'm returning it after a year and a half. Get yourself a lawyer's license through the courts here.
And what was the reason for taking it away from you? Well, the chamber was in session and they were supposed to vote, and your colleagues did. What was the main reason for stripping you of your attorney's mandate?
Because I supposedly took on a hopeless case. That is, legally speaking.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
This
That
doesn't happen.
A lawyer is a lawyer, so he can't participate in any process.
Yeah, that's why I explained it that way, to which she revokes my status. And when she revoked my status, I returned the money to those clients. One of the clients who was owed money in a criminal case. I'm giving him his money back. That it will remain in our contract because I can't continue
makes
participating without a license. And a year and a half later, when I'd already gotten my license back, I'm going to court to recover the money I'd returned to the client, so it's my loss. If she hadn't revoked my license, I would have worked on this case.
Did you have some kind of case when your license was revoked in which
Yes.
you represented the interests of another
person to whom I returned the money.
Yeah, and how much did you return?
2 million.
Normal amount?
They even collect 1.5 billion from him. They
You
tried to
returned 2
collect it
million
from him.
rubles to a client to whom you could not provide services.
Yes.
Then after a year and a half, you return in through the court
Yes.
and get yourself a license. And who did you
To the Bar
file a
Association.
lawsuit against? For the losses you suffered? For
Yes.
the fact that what they did provide you? Well, it's a scary topic. Not just scary, but unprovable. There was a decision by the Bar Association to deprive you of your mandate and on to lost. That is, you are talking about lost profits, but
Yes.
there is no such wording.
It's called lost profit.
Lost profit, right. But in your case, it's a service. It's not the sale of any inventory. Or, that is, we probably wouldn't have gotten this far if it weren't some kind of agreement to embezzle some budget funds. Probably. That's my assessment. I'm just listening for now. Well, you filed a lawsuit against the Bar Association. It's crazy idea to sue lawyers with the board. What is its correct name?
Bar Association.
Tambov City Bar Association, yes?
Yes.
How many lawyers are there?
Only 35,000. Oh, sorry. 350.
350. Well,
350.
Let me guess. You lost.
Yes, sure.
What was the calculation?
In our legal system, that is all decisions.
For what?
On the legal system in Russia,
Let me ask
that's
you
all.
again. For what? I'm just teasing you.
To the legal
What
system.
was the decision?
The decision was
Dismiss
To
the
refuse, yes.
civil claim. On what grounds?
due to the fact that this is the client that I had. That I did not enter into agreement with him. I didn't conclude that he didn't give me the money.
Was there a contract?
Yes, of course. What the
Are
contract?
there any materials for
There
this
was
case?
materials for this case. The only problem was that at that time of my trial, he was in a jail. That is, he already been convicted.
Doesn't matter. They'd have let him go.
Well, that's what they did. They brought him out of the jail. They told him either you'll serve your full sentence in not so good conditions, or you say that he didn't sign a contract with me, didn't sign it, and didn't give me any money.
You can't have something like that in Russia.
Well-
You're just kidding, right?
Well, yes, I thought so too.
Candidate of legal sciences, you're pushing the whole law to the masses.
Yeah, that's how it is.
And naturally, in court, he said that this agreement was a
He
forgery.
didn't say anything about the agreement at all.
He said, I don't know you, I've never seen you.
He knows me, that I was involved in his case, that everything, yes, I defended him, but he didn't sign a contract with me and he didn't give me money or take it away.
Well, and you put forward a retort in court that page of the case file is this.
Sure, they say they'll review it and consider it in the verdict. They'll review and consider it. There's a contract signed by him. I request an examination to confirm it. That's all. He signed the contract, check
No
it.
examination was ordered.
No examination was ordered.
It makes sense.
This case material, the contract itself, are still there. I've been wondering all this time what they'll write there if I do pass a sentence. Well, it has to be done somehow.
You were counting on an appeal, right? You wanted to make a name for yourself as some kind of truth teller. What was your main goal?
The main goal? No, the main goal is to restore my rights because honestly, after 15 years of work, I was confident that the legal system does exist.
No, that's not what I mean. You spent a year and a half restoring it. License went to court, was reinstated. Again in the same one in Tambov. Does the Tambov chamber itself have the budget to pay such claims?
Of course, much more. Each lawyer pays fee every month.
I see. Did you really expect to get paid when you filed the lawsuit?
I was counting on it without even thinking about it, most likely. I wasn't even thinking about the money. The issue was purely reputational, because I worked in Tambov for 15 years and everyone knows me there. So the question was...
What do you say in Tambov? A friend or a comrade?
Yeah, that Tambov Wolf is your comrade.
Wolf, yes?
And I was counting solely on reputational question, not how much money I will recover, that is, they could reduce this amount.
Yeah, they could. There are 50,000 and
yes,
that's it,
of course.
You're free. For them it was also like a matter of principle, position.
The issue was not solely about money, but rather about reputation. As a result, he gives such testimony. I have a clear conscience. I think I have an agreement in the case materials. Accordingly, what claims there can be. The verdict is handed down, and that same day I'm locked up, meaning I get a real prison sentence. Again, no one believes it, because for...
Wait, the verdict is being passed on...
Criminal part.
For which one?
According to the one I filled in court, I want to collect from the bar association.
Case?
Because...
It is supposed to be a civil case.
No.
Look, you're filing a lawsuit against your bar association within the framework of what?
I'm filing a civil case against my bar association asking for compensation for damages. They're appealing to the investigative committee for a criminal case. That I have no grounds for filing a civil case. That is, I invented this agreement. I forged it.
What is the article and the plot of the case?
The plot of the case was the Article 159, that is attempted fraud. And the story that after my status was restored, I came up with to myself that I supposedly had some client who was supposed to pay me 2 million. But since this client didn't want to pay me 2 million, didn't pay it, and didn't get the money back, then...
How long did it take to hear your... civil claim?
The civil suit was considered in time probably a year.
And a criminal case was being investigated. They were on the same day you filed a civil lawsuit. Well, or maybe a week or so.
They appealed it, turns out, 6 months after I filed the civil suit.
Well, of course, they thought about it and decided that...
there was nothing they could do to get out of it, and so they turned to a criminal case.
It's clear, the investigators are their own. Everything it did, yes?
It turns out that her son-in-law is the head of the Federal Security Service investigation, the president of the Bar Association. There is a whole FSB dealing with me because of a civil elementary civil case.
Federal Security Service on the line. The last video was not liked. I personally monitor your likes, so...
Yes, you can check it here, all my words, arguments. Accordingly, when the verdict was handed down to me and I read it, it turns out that there are no words there about the fact that in principle I provided some kind of agreement about what I said.
Did you go to any interrogations?
Of course it can be done without fail.
Did you have a lawyer or did you do it yourself?
Well, it was formally, let's say, a lawyer because no one wanted to take on my case. I was suing the Bar Association. I had a dispute with the Bar Association. And in fact, I defended myself.
You wrote the statement that you will defend yourself.
It's not right in there. He just participates and that's all. Roughly speaking, remains silent and agrees with what I say.
Well, so there was a formal lawyer for the case?
Yes, he was a formal lawyer, some ordinary one.
Okay, on the day they handed down the civil case, your lawsmith, you were convicted for a criminal case on the same day?
No, later.
Later. So at the beginning, what date did they tell you it was cancelled?
As for the civilian version, they probably told me at the end of January or maybe in February, something like that.
The 23rd?
The 22nd.
Special military operation hasn't
No, it
begun
hasn't
yet.
started yet, and in a month, literally in a month and a half, I'll probably already find out about the criminal case that has been opened. I'm already being placed under house arrest. That is, I'm already sitting at home without communication, without a phone, and it turns out that I have a connection that only appeared in August when they gave me my phone back because all the contacts were there. And then I wrote to you to draw attention to this issue. You have a lot of followers, and I think if there's a public outcry, people will pay attention. This matter will be addressed. Well, that's when I wrote to you, and now if I were
Well, you
to
have
take...
a YouTube channel there, I remember.
Yes, of course, I have a YouTube channel.
Which one? Is it still there?
Well, I guess so. I haven't been there for a long time.
What is it called?
Yes, maybe it's easier to find by last name.
Doesn't matter. How?
Or Until Where. I later remained the channel. Until Where.
Lawyer. Well, in short, I can't find it.
That's for sure. Videos were posted there too. Everyone watched them.
Yes, from house arrest, you come to court.
Yes, my trials begin with the house arrest. I go to court, and in the end, when I read the verdict, there's no mention of even myself. No, only my mentions are that I had an agreement, that's all. That is not the contract itself.
In short, guilty.
Not. Yes, in short, it turns out I'm
Did
guilty.
you write an appeal?
I wrote an appeal here. The appeal is being proceeded in our region, in our
They look you
area.
up, you're guilty, and they take you into custody in the courtroom.
Guilty, being held in custody despite the fact that I have 3 minor children besides my children, plus I have all the public regalia I need. This includes public activities and participation in charitable foundations.
How much do they give you?
They're giving me 2 years and 2 months, considering I have 11 months left, 11 months of house arrest, and while I'm waiting for my appeal, I still have 10 months left to serve.
Will they lock you up and take you to a pretrial
Yes, in
detention
the
center?
pretrial detention center where I'm waiting
Yes.
an appeal. After the appeal, a month later, I was already being transferred to jail.
When the appeal took place, what did the appeal say?
Same thing, nothing.
No changes.
No changes, yes.
Yeah. You have the same wording. For us, it means no changes.
We have the same thing, they say there are no changes.
Yeah. At the time the verdict came into force because of the legal subtitles, those not involved in the legal profession don't know that after the verdict is announced, we have 15 days. How many days do
We
you have?
have 10 days.
10 days, too. It comes into effect and an appeal is filed, then the appeal is pending, and then a cassation appeal can be filed.
Uh-huh.
In the end, you didn't write the cassation appeal.
No, I filled the cassation appeal. I have both an appeal and a cassation appeal. I prepared it at home from the start. I knew no one would write it except me. And it was sent,
Got it.
as far as I know, the cassation court overturned it. Well, maybe, or rather, as I was told, the cassation court overturned it, but I personally didn't see it.
Okay, so when did the appeal finally happen?
The appeal was in June 2023.
In June 2023. How much time has passed since the restriction of freedom?
Almost 1.5 years.
1.5 years. You had 7 months left to
Well,
sit.
for June, yes, 10.
Well, 10, that's right. Which colony are you going to?
The fifth colony is Kirovo-Chepetsk.
In prison, as I understand it, you said normally like a man,
Yes.
writing statements to everyone.
Yes, well, yes.
I understand he was probably held in high esteem because he was smart compared to everyone else, writing petitions and appeals. Did that help anyone?
I'll tell you, even while I was in pretrial detention, 5 months, 3 criminal cases, 1 criminal case was sent for further investigation, 2 criminal cases were sent for further investigation, and 1 person who was supposed to get 11 to 12 years for during trafficking got 7 years. So, let's say I significantly helped people.
How would I know this? Because he is not the first lawyer to sit at this table. And yes, they're held in high esteem in prison. No one bothers them or discriminates against them because they help the local gang and other prisoners. So, no one discriminates against them, right?
Yes, of course. There were no questions about cigarettes or...
Most likely the opposite is true. There were concessions everyone understood because he was sitting for life with some kind of coat and wrote some kind of papers.
Yes.
What was missing for you to stay there for 7 months?
Well, at that moment...
10 months.
10 months. At that point, firstly, when I was already in the camp, I hadn't worked for 2 years. That is, 3 children, me, my wife. Well, even if you take me out, just my wife and children. 10 months, that is all possible resources, let's say financial, have already been exhausted, first of all. And secondly, I was told that there is such a possibility to live in a month, practically plus or minus being at home. That is not in war, not even the trenches, certainly not. In literally 2 months at most, I could be home. So...
When did they tell you this?
This was when I was already in the colony. Since our colony was for former employees, there were people there, former employees, including...
And why are you? Oh, well, you're a lawyer in special category.
Yes.
Because in regular prison, most likely if he met someone who went to prison because of him, he would feel bad.
Well, not exactly. Rather, many lawyers are involved on behalf of the victims. So, to avoid having to sort out
yes,
who's
lawyers
involved,
fall
who's
into
here
the
and who's
category
there.
of former employees because prisoners also have questions for them.
Yeah, that is, if I had, of course, stayed in the region, then I wouldn't have any problem there either, but they took me to God knows where.
When did they make you this tempting offer?
This tempting offer was made to me sometime in September 23, literally less than a month after I was already there, so...
Yeah. Do a lot of former employees go off to war?
Well... Yes, probably the person I saw was from this very colony. Before we arrived, there were about 30 of us. Literally about 30 people left when we arrived.
Is the colony big in general?
The colony's design, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, for up to 1,000 people.
What there?
There were probably 400 people.
In short, it tied up
Yes.
during the war. Understand that.
Shall I have a cigarette?
I can't understand. Yes, there's one thing I can't understand. As someone who spent their entire life in documents, what topic did you defend your dissertation on? Crime, right?
General identification of crimes.
Yes. You probably read the agreement, the contract, right?
Certainly.
Yes, this is a case where the contract was actually read. Could you read it in a phrase about you being able to leave?
The question there that it is not in this.
Take a deep breath here or there because the
I
camera of a
understand.
broken Samsung won't survive.
The question wasn't whether it should be in the contract. The question was what exists beyond the contract and the law that governed the relationship under the contract, that is, deployment to a special military operation. There is also a provision in the law that states that those unfit for service cannot be sent there. And people who are already in the army, in the active one, if they are unfit for service, then they must be discharged, right enough.
You're fit for service.
Legally, I'm fit for service, but physically not.
You're physically fit for service. You passed the medical examination before leaving the colony, and you were assigned category B, probably 4.
I don't know, I haven't seen it. Probably yes.
Are you saying it's because of your eyesight?
No, I have problems with my leg, the joint is missing.
Not a reason at all.
No, this is a serious reason.
Show you. Exclusive video. Want to be surprised? Well, I think you're surprised by a lot. Well, look. This way it's probably better.
Yes.
What do you see?
There are no toes at all. Well, that can be done.
How can that be impossible? What did he do in captivity?
Well, I get it.
What do you think, your joint or whatever you have?
Joint.
With this, the same thing. He can't run, physically. His vestibular system doesn't work. He walks on his heels.
Well, I also walk on my tiptoes. I can't run either.
What I'm getting at is that you are...
Yeah.
So, how you walked compared to him? You're just
I understand.
an athlete, a champion, or whatever we call him, an
I understand.
Olympian, a marathon runner. Well, so what was your plan?
My plan was that they said I would sign the contract, and in a month or a month and a half I would already be at home. I would be discharged for health reasons.
And you believed it?
Well, yes, it was plausible, because they didn't give everyone a contract. First of all, I passed the medical examination in 1 day.
It makes sense, I told you that.
Well, secondly, I was given a completely unfit discharge, so it turns out I couldn't have been unfit because of my leg. And how pleasurable that would have seemed. Thirdly, even documented, the remaining 26 of us went and they took us. The remaining 25 or so didn't give anyone their contracts or agreements. They gave me a contract, they gave me a badge, and this badge had a completely different number, so it was very believable that yes, this is how they treated me as an officer. This other 20 people says, well, you served there. I say, well, I never served anywhere. I say, I've never been in the army, nothing. That is to say, I didn't have any thoughts or doubts or suspicion that something would go wrong. So, that's how I ended up on a special military operation.
So, when did you come to Ukraine?
On the 6th or 7th of October.
On the 6th or 7th of October?
Yes, we have already been to Ukraine.
23rd year?
23rd year.
When were you captured?
November 17th, 23rd year.
23rd year. It turns out
Well, a month and a half, give or take.
in a month and a half.
In a month and a half.
What have you been doing all this time?
We spent those 6 weeks at the training ground. I was waiting for what I was told was my basic training to end, so I could be awarded my rank and be taken back.
Uh-huh.
Actually, well, I didn't do anything there.
Uh-huh.
So I was in the dugout, roughly speaking, waiting for the time to pass, for the whole exercise to be over, because all the guys who were with me saw health problems. They didn't drag me anywhere, they didn't take me to the firing range or to shoot. I went there once because, frankly, I'd never held a rifle in my hands. I was just curious, like at a shooting range, to try it out. And even then I barely made it out of there because my leg was so swollen. The guys took my rifle and my bulletproof vest. I barely made it out of there.
What mission did you go on and how did it end? When was that?
It was on November 15th, it turns out.
In what direction was all this?
Serebryansky Forest.
Yes, I understand.
Forestry. On November 15th in the morning, we were all told to pack our things and load up. We loaded up. They said you'd be going to another green zone, something like that, where there no fighting. We arrived there. They unloaded us on November 15th, and for another day and a half, 2 days at most, we still haven't had time to get everything sorted out. That same day when we arrived, some 30 odd people were taken on a combat mission. I don't know why, they don't explain anything to anyone. After a day and a half or two, they gather another 30-40 people. They say, you're being moved to a place where you'll wait. Well, where you'll wait. You'll wait. That is, they don't say that you will go on the attack there or do anything else. So there are no problem there, nothing dangerous. We got there, loaded into the car. They bring us for this Serebryansky forest or forestry.
Well, I get it.
They already bring us to the front lines. They unloaded us. They say, guys, go ahead. There are trenches over there. We run up to the dugouts, and then this landing, shooting, then all that stuff started.
Yeah. So, who took you prisoner under what circumstances?
In the end, in my opinion, in another 2 days or a day.
Is that the 19th already?
No, we arrived earlier because on the 17th, on November 17th, I was taken prisoner. I was captured when I had already left my position because there were Ukrainian positions all around me. To the left, in front, and to the right. So I reached the position where Ukrainian soldiers were stationed, and I was captured there on November 17th.
I see. How was the war? Did you like it?
No movie or book ever depicts this. This is war. It's not some kind of heroism, not some kind of...
Not a special military operation.
Not a special military operation, not Counter-Strike.
You're supposed to be smart, considering the deception in prison. Go get discharged in 2 months. You can't doubt what I'm saying here. What does demilitarization mean? You saw your king's address, after all. Who is this? That side. You can't say that. What are demilitarization and denazification from a legal perspective?
The fight against... in other words, the fight against the Nazis, right?
This is denazification.
Yes.
Who are Nazis? So let's start from a legal perspective. There's a term that someone uses. It must be somewhere, right?
Established.
It's been established correctly, and there must be some commentary. So your king says, go, all of you, God's servants, go and denazify and demilitarize them. What does that mean in practice? Practical application of this term.
What I saw was war.
So are all citizens of Ukraine Nazis?
Honestly, I found it difficult to answer. What I saw was war.
No, war is war. The term is clear. Aggression by one country against another, that's clear. Denazification, what does it mean?
Denazification is a fight against the fascist regime of Ukraine. That is, I can't give you much advice
You speak
here.
up as you think, as you understand that this is how it will be right.
Denazification is the destruction of Nazis.
Yes. Have you seen the Nazis?
There are no Nazis. I didn't see
Fascists.
them. No.
Your Tsar showed it on TV, but you were already on the move. The war was already in full swing. You were sitting at home and had the opportunity to watch all this news. Moreover, you watched the interview along the way, right?
Interview? Probably yes.
My interviews are Wova's.
Well, yes.
The question arises. Who are the Nazis in the eyes of your Tsar and the rest of your elite? Who
Well-
needs to be killed here?
Well, the way it's represented is that it's killing Nazis.
Who are the Nazis? I am a Nazi. Can I be the Nazi?
Well, theoretically. Or what? I just don't quite understand the question.
Let's put it this way. Do you understand the difference between a Nazi and a nationalist?
A nationalist is a person who is for his country exclusively for the fact that there are citizens of the country that they represent. Let's say if it is Ukraine, then accordingly Ukraine for Ukrainians, and they say
Yes,
Russia
and
for
what is
Russians.
Nazism?
Nazism is an aggressive form of nationalism that is, it's the physical extermination of other representatives.
Yep, right. It comes up. Okay, we've sorted it out. So he said to go and destroy all the Nazis. How do you determine whether I'm a nationalist or a Nazi? Or am I some kind of Bandera follower?
Well, in terms of action, I guess.
Okay, how should my actions be interpreted? Guess what all your fellow countrymen are writing in the comments.
Well, if it's Nazism, I don't know, I'm guessing. I haven't studied this topic in depth, but I'm guessing that Nazism isn't just the murder of other races, that is physical elimination, that is shoot or torture or something else. Nazism can be different too.
Yes, people are telling me in the comment that I'm a Nazi. I'm torturing you. And that's what we'll be writing under this video too.
Well, if it's you specifically, then I haven't heard that you tortured anyone.
No, well, I mean, did anyone torture you?
No, I'm saying that if...
Look, all your fellow countrymen are writing roughly the same thing. We're removing some bots here, and it all boils down to me being a Nazi. Torturing a prisoner, having this conversation with him. Conversation with you is more or less interesting because, well, what can you talk about with a guy who can't write the word Nazism correctly? You know, through the... Right? You have a higher education to, in fact, in this scientific moment. How should we interpret your Tsar? I'm interested in understanding the term denazification from a scientific perspective. Killing Nazis, fine? And how can I determine that I'm a Nazi and not a nationalist or an ordinary citizen?
Well, perhaps if, according to this interpretation, then does a person participate in destruction or does a person assist in the destruction of others?
Am I assisting in the murder of Russians?
Well, if, for example, the same videos, it turns out that if... videos, well, for example, well, as I understand it, if you help in showing, well, I don't know, it's difficult. I can't answer
well, I'm
this
specifically helping our armed forces kill Russians. Is that bad? Does this make me a Nazi?
No, considering that there is a war going on, it turns out that no.
It turns out that no. That's how it turns out it's crap.
Agree.
Because there is a basic question. Is Ukraine an independent state?
Yes, sure.
What happened on February 24, 2022?
Full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Yes. How can this be described? In other words, you said action, but what happened in reality? Well, in plain Russian.
In fact, it is a declaration of war.
There was no declaration of war, and by the way, this is not in short not a fucking betrayal, because there is no such thing. It is not written anywhere that someone should call someone and notify someone that we are declaring war on you. In fact, you attacked an independent state. Or not.
Physically, of course, Russia entered Ukraine.
Physically, legally, whatever you like, this is the reality. Right?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? What does it matter to us and to our Nazis, nationalists?
Well, for me personally, not at all.
No, I'm not talking about you personally. You've already been discriminated against there. What matters is yours, Russia.
It's hard to navigate because I've never really developed into these issues, honestly.
He is not interested in politics.
Yes, never at all. I didn't even have a time for politics.
He doesn't know the whole truth. Everyone says something different, right?
Well, yes.
Well, I don't know what else to ask. What does demilitarization mean?
Military disarmament.
Yes,
perhaps.
disarmament. Disarmed?
No, they armed in the other way around, probably, judging by...
Denazified?
No.